He would always ask. He's like, "Do you think I'm making a difference?" I'm like, "Buddy, you're making a difference. I'm sure you're making a difference." Because if they're still called, because some soldiers will still call him after, when he was a CSM, like asking questions, and I was like, "You made a difference." If somebody's still reaching out to you after all this time, you made a difference.
What up, battle buddies? Welcome to the Combat Carl Show. Real vets, real talk, slightly inappropriate. I'm your host, Combat Carl, Army vet, and your favorite supply guy. On this show, we're going to cover it all, from your first pair of boots to your final salute. No filters, no fluff, just vet stuff.
Combat Carl Show, let's go! Show, let's go.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the special edition to Combat Carl Show. I have with me one of my heroes, Maggie Marcina, the great wife of Michael, first Sergeant Major, Michael Barcena. How you doing today, Ms. Maggie Barcena?
I'm doing good, and you?
I'm doing great. I'm super excited about this episode because I really wanted to tell, Sergeant Major Barcena's story. He's one of my heroes, one of the guys I looked up to, one of the guys I idolized in my career around, and I wouldn't be the person I am today without it. And one of the reasons I'm doing this show is to honor the guys that served and to give the flowers to guys who actually did something for the country and actually did something, sacrificed themselves, and so forth and so on. And so with that said, I really dedicate this episode to you guys, your family, and I appreciate your time today. And so let's get started.
All
right. So my first question is, where are you guys from?
I'm originally from Cuba, and he is originally from Miami.
Okay. And my next question is, what was his MOS?
His MOS was, oh my goodness, I have written it down. Oh, it was 63S, and then when he became a Command Sergeant Major, it became a 91Z.
Okay. And how long did he serve for?
He served for like 24 years.
Okay. And what were some of the places you guys were stationed at?
First duty station was Baumholder, Germany.
Okay.
And then we took a break because he went to Bosnia. So he got out for 18 months, and then we went to Maryland.
Okay.
I loved it there.
Okay.
And then we went to Oklahoma. No, we went to Oklahoma, then we went to Maryland because we had my daughter already. We did Oklahoma, Maryland, Missouri, Washington State, and our last duty station was Okinawa, Japan.
Can you take me back to the moment you met your husband?
I met my husband through a friend.
Okay.
He was supposed to, she liked him, and he didn't like her. He was just messing around with her. So I was trying to get them together, and then I was supposed to go out with his friend, and he was going to go out with her. But before that happened, me and him met in a park across the street from my house. Mm-hmm. And he decided that he liked me, but he didn't want his friend to have me. And I did not find out till years later that he had told his friend the day he met me that he was going to marry me. That day that he saw me.
Oh, okay.
I never knew until later on in years that we were talking, and his best friend, he's like, he told me, I'm going to marry that girl the first day he saw you. I was like, wow. I did not even think of that at that moment.
So what was your first impression of him?
I thought he looked like Doogie Howser. But he got me because he had a mouth on him. He could talk. He could sell you anything, and he got me.
Okay.
He got me very, very, very hard because I fell in love very hard with him.
When did you know that he wanted to go to the military? Like, did he tell you? When did he tell you? When did he tell you that?
He told me after. Well, he didn't tell me right after. He went first to the Marines to see if they would accept him, and I guess they did the test, and they told him he was going to cut potatoes or something, and he's like, So then he went to the army side. He jumped because it was right next to each other. And then he went to the army, and then the army gave him all these beautiful things that they promised him, the stars and all this. And he came home and he said, "I'm going to join the army."
Mm,
And I said, "Oh no, you're not." And then he said, "Yes, I am." And I said, "Okay, fine, let's do it, you know, and
okay.
not knowing what to expect.
Did you have so? What were some of your hesitations about him joining the military?
He would be gone with war or anything. Like I was just scared. Like I didn't know anything about the military. All I knew is they go to war and they train. And I really did not know nothing. I was 17
Mm,
when he decided to do all this. So I was, to me, it was just a surprise. But I don't even know why he decided to do the military. I think it was
mm,
just because he wanted to get out of his parents' house, because we were married and living in his parents' house, and we were
mm.
16. Well, we got married at 16, but so we were young, and he was always old for his age.
Yeah, I get that. Do you remember the first time he had to deploy?
Yes, we were stationed in Baumholder, Germany, and he went to Bosnia. And the
Okay.
day before he left to deploy, I found out I was pregnant with my second child,
Mm,
and it was rough.
okay.
But then I didn't see him again until I was like 7 months pregnant. And
Okay.
he came home for R&R, and then he left again, and then he came back right before I gave birth.
Okay. So, what are all the kids' names?
The oldest one, which you probably heard a lot, is Michael J.
Right. Right.
And the next one is Marcus.
Okay.
And then the daughter, the baby, is Maylee.
Okay. Shout out to y'all. How y'all doing today? My next question is, how did you guys stay connected back then, or doing you guys' deployments?
Well, what Bosnia was letters,
Okay.
a lot of letters. And when he got deployed with when he went to Iraq and all that, Afghanistan, it was through Zoom. I mean, not Zoom, Skype.
Yeah, Skype. Yeah.
We did a lot of Skyping, and then he did write me letters too.
Okay.
And then we had the same Facebook. We always had the same Facebook page, so he would always write me through Facebook too. And I remember 1 o'clock would be our Skype moment.
Okay.
So I changed my job time and everything just so I could be home by that time so we could Skype.
Let me ask you another question. What is some of the sacrifices you feel like you personally made during his service?
I'm just sharing him. I think that was it, because I mean I enjoyed being a military spouse and helping him get to where he was. And I really did not feel it was a lot of a sacrifice, besides raising the kids by myself half of the time. But that's like pretty much the only big sacrifice.
I get that. I get
besides that, besides that, I don't think I didn't, I'm missing him, but it wasn't, I don't know. I just went along with the flow and stay
that.
busy.
Yeah. So how did you handle relocating? Because you guys are super young, and so your first time relocating to Germany, how did you handle that?
No, that was rough. That was rough because I was not a U.S. citizen.
Hmm.
So I had to get a reentry to go over there. Finally got all that done. I had the baby, travel along with the baby,
Hmm.
Michael J. And he screamed all the time. Since he was born, he was screaming. Yeah, I remember. I remember the Autobahn. So yeah, it was rough because I did it all by myself. Like I had to get everything, travel over there with him. When I got to Germany, he was not even home. Some friends that he made for me already, I didn't even know them, but they were my friends when I got there. They picked me up at the airport. They took me to buy food. I mean, they prepared. He had them prepare me when I got there. So by the time he got home, he didn't worry either. So, but he was not there, I think, for the first 2 or 3 days, and then
Okay.
he showed up.
Okay.
And
What is, in your opinion, what is one of the hardest parts about being a military wife?
the hardest, I think, is when they deploy and they come back trying to reconnect.
Hmm.
That and trying to give them like let them be a part of the family, but at the same time not want them to disrupt what you had going on, because it's not like they were gone for like a week, they were gone for years.
Hmm.
Or a year, 15 months.
Yeah.
So you have your thing with your kids, and then daddy comes home and daddy feels bad that he was gone, so the kids take advantage of that.
Yeah.
And then and mommy doesn't know, and then when I find out, I can't be mad, and I feel, and I don't want to get mad at him, but we had talks about that a lot,
Okay.
that he couldn't do that every time he would deploy, because he would just dysfunction my whole routine that I had going on. But we kind of understood each other.
Okay.
We did.
I might ask you another question. Did you ever see husband struggle with PTSD?
Yeah, the first deployment, when it was New Year's,
Hmm.
we were all sitting, the whole family, we were in Miami at my parents' house, and out of the blue, there were some firecrackers, like fireworks started going off, and he immediately dropped to the floor into a fetal position, that everybody that was sitting around was just looking at him like, what the hell? And
Hmm.
all I do was rub his back, but I've never ever saw him do that before. And then he had just come back from deployment, and it was very scary and shocking at the same time. But I kind of knew, because in my head I imagined, what has he been through over there, that he, you know, that fireworks made him just immediately drop down into the fetal position, like take cover.
Mm.
And I was like, and then we got up and we went inside, and he's like, I'm okay, but I'm like, okay, but he never talked about it. He always told me, once I retire, we'll sit down and we'll talk about everything that happened when I was deployed, but I don't want to talk about it now. I don't want you to think differently of me. And I'm like, I believe me, I would never think differently of you. As long as you come home, I don't care. Just come home. That's all I wanted, is for you to come home. But I was waiting for that day, and I never got it. But um, yeah,
Yeah. Okay. In your opinion, did you ever see or notice that he struggled with being a father and a soldier at the same time, or between fatherhood and duty?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I did. I did. I noticed it. Okay, he tried both, and at one point when he came from deployment, he put the kids, all of them, in sports,
Hmm.
and never took them.
I know
So
he
I
wanted
had,
to be there though. I know the schedule was just getting bad. People kept getting in trouble. Things just going. Talk about his hands.
yeah, but I knew his heart was in it. It's just that he didn't realize that it was just overwhelming and he couldn't do it. But he still did it, and I ended up being the one between three different sports, running around like a crazy woman after work. So yeah, he tried. He tried. That's why he before he passed away, he would talk to my daughter and tell her, when you have kids, I'm gonna raise your kids, and they would have that argument, like, that towards the end. And she'd be like, "No, you raise me. I'm gonna raise my own kids." And he's like, "No, I want to," because he didn't have that, like, raising them like normal parents do, because he was gone training, or work is very consuming,
Right.
and late hours, and so yeah, he tried, he did, but he was a great father. I mean, the time he did have with them, he spoiled them.
He always talked about him. I want y'all to know that for the record, kids. Let's if you don't mind sharing, how you wound up passing.
We were stationed in Okinawa, Japan. That was our last duty station. He had just come back from a field training exercise,
Hmm.
and he was very happy and proud, because apparently the officers did better than the enlisted. But he didn't. But he was still so proud, because he just probably was proud of his soldiers. But he spent that afternoon. I surprised him at one, because he was a straight person. He had to, like, get everything in order before the next day, or for Monday, no matter what. When he came from the field, he had to clean everything that day. Like, it was until everything was done and he was good, he could not rest. So I surprised him, and I picked him up at his job, and I said, "We're going to the cabins." And he's like, "Well, what about my equipment?" I said, "It stays in your office." And that a little bit, freaked him out. Came out, but he did it. He impressed me. And we went to the cabins, which exactly in the same base that he was a CSM at, because he had a little. It was from the beach. His office was on the beach, so you could see the ocean from his office.
Okay.
So I got the cabins. We went over there for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And Friday he was all happy about everything. Saturday we had to go pick up his stuff at his job and take it to the house, and he had to pack his bag for Monday before we
Okay.
left the house.
All right.
And I still have that bag packed in my closet.
Okay.
I would never let that bag go. And we picked up my daughter, and we went back to the beach to do some kayaking and just spend the day at the beach, eating and enjoying ourselves. He was complaining that he had heartburn,
Mm-hmm.
but it was like he would tell me, I think it's because I'm drinking out of a bottle and I'm not drinking out of a cup, and that's what I usually do. So we didn't think anything of it. That night I took my daughter back home, and I came back to the cabin, and he was grilling, like he loved to grill, and he wasn't complaining or nothing. He was fine. We had a good dinner. We watched TV. We talked. We were planning that night. We decided that he was going to retire,
Mm-hmm.
and he was looking at jobs in Florida,
Okay.
in the U.S. job thing. And then we went to bed, and the next morning we woke up, and we were supposed to go to breakfast, and he was like, I don't feel too good. I feel like I have like a gas. I have gas. Can you burp me? He was like, can you burp me? Because I feel like I have gas. So I was burping him and trying at least. And then he said, well, instead of us eating out, can we just pick up food and go home? And I said, yeah, sure. That's fine. Well, when he went into the bathroom to cut his hair, I was cleaning the kitchen, and then he came back to the couch, and I heard a water bottle fall. Oh, before that, because I had offered him, do you want me to take you to the doctor because of the gas thing? Because he apparently was like really bothering him.
Mm-hmm.
And he got mad at me. He said no, because the last time I did that to him, he got stuck to the AK whatever machine, and they shaved his little thing, and he said he had nipples, and he made a big deal about it. So I said, okay, fine, we'll just go home. So when he came back when he was cutting his hair, he came back to the couch. I was cleaning the kitchen, and all I hear is a water bottle fall on the floor. So I turn around, and he's laying on the couch, and I thought he was like messing with me, because when he gets upset at me, he'll start like joking around. But I was like, stop playing. Like I thought he was playing with me, and yeah, he wasn't playing. So when I noticed that, yeah, this was a serious thing, I tried to call the 911, but in Japan it's not 911. It's like a million numbers. So I had to run next door to the cabin next to me to get a guy to come over here to help me out, because I couldn't handle him. And then the guy came, and we called the ambulance, and it was swarmed, ambulance, MPs, everything. So then they kept me outside with MPs because I was freaking out like crazy, so they could work on him. And then they put him in the ambulance, put me in the ambulance with him, and we went to the hospital. And the whole time they were giving him the paddles to make his heart start.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it did, because they kept on all the way on. I mean, I got to the hospital, and his whole entire brigade was there waiting for us, because I called the colonel's wife to let her know something was going on, and she called, her husband was scuba diving. So I don't know how, but everybody ended up being there. By the time we got there, everybody was there. So what felt like years waiting for an answer. And then finally they came and they said, do you want to see your husband? And when they said that to me, I said, yeah. I thought he was okay. I'm like, yes, let me go see, he's fine. Everything's fine. No. The doctor stopped me before I even went to the back, and he's like, no, he did not make it. And that was it. I really don't remember much from there. Only that they put me in a separate room in the hospital, and my daughter wasn't there. So I had to like have a friend pick her up at the house, and so I could tell her. And that was like the hardest thing I think I've ever had to do, to tell her that, her dad, her, because they were really close. They were very, very close. Before that, he had taught her how to change a radiator in the car. He was so proud of her. He was like, she's all full of oil, and, she's changing the radiator by herself. Like, he was so proud that she would do mechanical stuff. That was his little girl. And yeah, and I had to tell her, and she was 17.
Just,
Yeah.
uh, how did the other kids take the news, or how did the other kids
Uh,
receive the news?
they were stateside, so I made sure that somebody was with them before I had to tell them before anybody knocked on their door.
Mm-hmm.
So my son was here in Georgia in college, and my friend was in Columbus, and I called her. I mean, it was like the middle of the night for her, and I asked her, "Can you please go to my son? I need my he died. I called him Gordo. He passed away, and she was freaking out because we're godparents to her kids,
Mm-hmm.
and she drove, I think, an hour and to knock on my son's door in the middle of the night. And then when she knocked on the door, she's like, "Here, your mom wants to talk to you." And then he knew something. He's like, "What's wrong, Mom? What happened?" And then I told him, and that was Michael J.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he couldn't believe it. And then my middle son was in Florida with our family. When they notified the family, he was there too. So, yeah, he he had a lot of support because he had my late husband's family and mine together, so they were all there together. But my oldest was alone in Georgia, so that scared me.
There, immediate support for you guys after his passing.
Oh yeah, I I mean it was support completely. I mean I was not left alone. Uh, the kids got the casualty assistance officer that was in Miami, that he immediately, you know went to see the kids. I mean, he was constantly with the kids, and I mean, they were amazing to me. They did great. Like, they told me exactly step by step, because I mean, you're lost. I was completely lost. I didn't know what to expect, anything.
Uh-huh.
And they took me, they step by step, like they held my hand and did everything. And they even told me, don't, if he has any debt, don't claim the debt.
Mm-hmm.
Because that, like, I didn't know, I would have been okay.
Yeah.
But they did amazing work. Like, I cannot complain about them at all. Like, I mean, I can't even explain it, but they did really good. They did. They even at the funeral, because Cubans, we do the whole 24 hours mourning. So we have him with us 24 hours, like the whole night.
Okay.
So he was, in the funeral home, and all of us was there, and until for forever. But then when I saw that he was melting, I told the casualty assistant officer, I can't. We gotta take him out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And then he immediately, cleared the whole area so we could, do the whole preparation to close the casket. So, because I was like, yeah, he's melting. He's turning purple. He's like, they usually don't do this. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
know, but Cubans are, we have to do a whole night of, praying over him. And his mom, that killed me, because his mom sat next to him the whole night. She didn't know, that was her baby. He was the baby.
Mm.
So she sat with him the whole night. And I sat next to her, and we slept there with him there. I tell you, if I could have crawled into that cot, like, I would have gone in there too. I was like, I'm gonna get in here with him.
Yeah. Oh. I know it was hard. I know it was tough. I know it was shocking news for everybody when we found out, and I mean we devastated. They help you guys out with financial support, or help you follow up with financial support or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, they make sure that his SGLI. I mean, that they immediately, they immediately gave it to me in Japan,
Mm-hmm.
and then I didn't know he had life insurance too. So they got everything for me. Like, I had nothing to do. Like, it was, I when I had to separate from them, I was like, oh my God, what do I do from here from on out? Because they took me to everything, Social Security. I mean, they held my hand through everything. And I was like, thank goodness, because I didn't know. I even thought that his mom was gonna, because when we first joined, he had put his mom and me as beneficiaries.
Hmm.
So I I thought, no, she was still there. So I kept telling them, I think his mom gets something because he had her. And the thing is that he, before he passed away in October, yeah, he went to get hearing done
Hmm.
because he always went under with the whole getting his hear, because he's claustrophobic.
Okay.
So he went in because he wanted to get those Bluetooth, things that he could talk on the phone. He was all excited. He was really happy. And me, as I always go with him to appointments because we did everything together. When he went to see the doctor and I stayed in the lobby, he came out and he was scared. I'd never seen him scared. And he's like, the doctor wants to see you. And I'm like, why? And he said, they found something. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, let the doctor explain. What he had was a tumor between his ear and his brain.
Hmm.
But, and I guess it had been growing. So, and then believe it or not, his dog, his favorite dog in the world that's now with him in heaven, since he was a puppy, would always lick the right side of his ear. His bald head, his ear, he would always lick him since he was the puppy. And I'd be like, why in the world does this dog like to lick your head? He doesn't lick anybody else's head, but he's like, maybe it's my bald head. He likes the baldness. I'm like,
Okay.
but why don't we on the right side?
Yeah. Right.
And it was the right side that he had a tumor.
Mm. That's crazy. That is
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah, and then that from there, when he went to Hawaii in November he thought it was a consultation to see what they were going to do, and he found out it was not a consultation. It was the procedure was going to get done, and he was freaking out. And I was in Japan with my daughter, and I was like, how the hell do I get there? I can't a flight right now to Hawaii. I mean, it's going to cost us for an arm and a leg. We're going to have to sell our firstborn. And, yeah. And so, his family, his brother and sisters, they got together and they bought me the ticket. So I flew immediately over there.
Hmm.
So I spent my birthday with him the day after his procedure was no, his procedure was the same day as my birthday, actually.
Okay.
So we went in and they I felt so bad for that man. They screwed screws into his head and to hold his head in position. So when they would put him in the table, they do one time radiation into where the tumor was. And I felt so bad because he wanted to celebrate my birthday too. So we still went out and he was just leaking from everywhere because of the procedure. And I was just wiping him down. And I was like, you sure you don't want to go to the room? And he's like, no, we're going to celebrate. He was a tough guy. That's
Yeah.
why,
The
uh,
toughest.
yeah, but he had two holes right here and two holes back here. Like
Hmm.
literally, like they screwed thick, big screws into his head. I don't know how and then they gave him this little ball to hold on to. So for the pain, I'm like, what the hell does that ball have to do with your pain? But he was a champ, he did it. He went through it. And then that was November.
Hmm.
And then in March, after that, I don't know if that scared him, the tumor, because he was not his spunky self as he usually was. Like,
Right.
he was more of like chill at home. He not the ADHD Mike that I knew that was all over the place. He couldn't sit still. He was actually like sitting down, late, sleeping, watching TV. Like it was not him. Even his sister came to visit us and she's like, he's not the same. And I
Hmm.
said, yeah. And he had quit smoking and everything. Like he was like a clean, he had quit smoking for a year.
Yeah.
He was
Okay.
clean.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
Yeah. He was telling me that before he passed, like before I talked to you, like, man, I stopped smoking. Like, you still drink? I might have a sip. He might have like a occasional drink every now and again. But he was a red meat eating, cigar smoking. You know what I'm saying? Cuban. My man was like, we gotta have steaks. We gotta have this. We gotta have that.
he had meat and potatoes. Anything
Make
it
me
had to
say,
be, he had to have potato chips with everything or French fries.
yeah.
But yeah, his sister had told me, like he's not, he doesn't. I said, I think it's, I thought it was just that freaked him out, that tumor thing, So, and then we called to see if we could go see a doctor before that, and they said, no, you don't have a follow up to like 6 months, and he didn't make it to the follow up because he passed away in March. Like it was just like out of the blue, like it was a surprise, and
My next question is, what would you tell a young spouse that's joining the military?
I would say go for it and enjoy it and be a part of it. And then, don't be scared, and be a part of the group. Just don't hide.
Hmm.
Meet people. I loved it. I personally, I loved it. I mean, half of the time I didn't know what the hell I was doing. When I was came FRG leader, I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Right,
I
right.
don't. I just did what I thought I would like,
Hmm.
and that was it.
Yeah, when I met you, when I first met you, you was the FRG leader at the company, and I had my first child, and you were there. My second child, I wasn't there, and you were
Yeah.
there. um, and yeah, and I mean, you guys helped me out through my journey as I'm like about to when I deploying, redeploying, and then as I PCS out of there, I know you, and I mean the other commanders' wives were rotating out, but I know you and saw you all at the change commands at the places
Oh yeah.
and being at the meetings at the whatever we had after work and all that stuff like that. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, you were there, and I saw you do it, and I know it. I mean, can we also talk to about how it helps? It helps in their career. Or help? It did. I
It
mean,
does.
it does. I feel
It
like it does
does.
also.
It does. It does. It does. If they see that you have support, I think you have a further chance of getting higher up in your career, because I mean, it's if you don't have a support and you have a constant fighting and back and forth and you hate it doesn't work out, because the poor soldier is stuck between work and home, and it's miserable.
Yeah.
So I did not. I really believe that that's not. I loved him so much. I didn't want him to be miserable, knowing that he had to go to war and stuff. And then I'm here giving him a hard time at home. And I would try to help him as much as I could. And he would ask me when he was deployed, this wife needs this. Can you go? Yep. Okay. And I would go and get it done. And it was not easy, because I was working full time. I had 3 kids. And
Hmm.
then I was also doing emails at night and talking to parents, because a lot of them weren't married, and calling. It wasn't easy, but it was. I liked it. I really did like it.
Okay.
I, I mean, maybe some don't, but I really did.
Now, it's been a couple years now, and my next question is, what has helped you heal or help you move forward in healing?
Well, it took me a long time,
Hmm.
and I have my bad days still. I don't think, but I think my kids helped me heal, because I mean that's what we have. My dogs, my dogs helped me heal. His dog helped me heal when I had him, because until he passed away 2 years ago. And then our other dog that we still have, that is named after his last battalion, Mustang, because they were the
Mm.
Mustangs. So we named the dog Mustang. So he's still alive and kicking, and that's helped me heal. Family and moving to Georgia helped me a
Hmm.
lot,
Okay.
because I almost had a nervous breakdown in Miami. I
Mm.
could not handle that lifestyle and the way I felt. It was overwhelming for me. So my daughter got a scholarship for college here in Georgia, and that was my sell the townhouse. I just bought a townhouse over there. Sell the townhouse. Came over here, found this house, and we all moved over here. And
Okay.
then she got married a year later and moved out of the house.
Oh, that's
But that I needed to, and I think he knew what I needed, because he knew I wasn't gonna make it there. Like, I think he pointed at me in the directions that I'm at now. Like, it was him pointing me the directions. For me, I feel it in my heart that it was him doing it, because he saw how bad I was, and I wasn't gonna make it in Miami at all.
that's honest. That's honest. All right. Do you still stay connected with anybody in the military or the veteran community?
I say only connecting with a few people, not a lot. Like, from when we were in for Stewart, I have still friends from there. Like, since I worked in the daycare there, like, I still like Facebook. Like, I haven't seen them, but I only see 2 of them that came to his funeral when he passed. No, 3 came to his funeral. 3 of my friends from Hinesville came to his funeral when he passed. And one of them, we were the godparents to his kids, so she lives in Columbus still. The other one's in Texas. And then I had one from Okinawa come visit me, but like, really, not a lot of them, like, kind of. you know, separated after he passed. Like, and I kind of didn't became like a hermit. I didn't want to talk to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to be reminded or people feel sorry for me or you know what I'm saying. I just wanted to separate. Like, it's my fault too, but I don't know. I just isolated myself a lot too, and I thought a lot, and I think I kind of like healed myself a lot too. I spent a lot of time in nature outside. That's why I bought the house in the freaking woods, so I can see all the birds and you know connect with nature.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to be in nothing too busy. Like I wanted to be just at peace and quiet, and because it's hard. It's hard, and then you have everybody constantly asking, "Are you okay? How are you doing? How are you feeling?" And I didn't want to be reminded every day. I already have that reminder in
Mm-hmm.
my heart. I don't need somebody constantly checking on me, like, "How are you doing? Are you okay? How are you doing?" You know, no, I'm gonna get over this. Let me just give me my time and let me figure this out myself. And I mean, it took me 5 years, but I think I'm kind of there already. Like I'm actually in feeling a little better. Not 100, but feeling better.
That's honest. That's honest. All right. What do you wish civilians understood about being a military widow and the struggles of being a military widow?
Um, Civilian life. It's a whole new ballpark.
Yeah.
um, I don't. I felt safer in the military than I do in civilian life. I don't know why.
Mm,
It was rough. It was rough coming back to civilian life. I mean, I'm not used to it. I
mm,
wasn't used to it at all. It's a totally different life.
yeah.
That's why I'm glad I found that TAPS group that helped because those are military widows.
Taps group.
Hmm.
Okay. And what kind of stuff do they do at Taps? Like what kind of things did you what did you ever do with them, or like can you
Oh,
tell me some of your experiences with them?
they will they have a number you call, and first of all, before that, when you get connected with them,
Mm-hmm.
they will partner you with a battle buddy that their husband passed away the same way your husband passed away,
Mm-hmm.
with the same amount of kids and the same age. So
Mm-hmm.
like they know what I went through. Like she understood me. And then they have camps for the kids. They have camps for us. They have retreats. Like they even have online like sources that we have chats, and it's like the best resource for a military spouse to go through when their husband passes away, because they'll guide you, like even for the schooling for the kids,
Mm-hmm.
like they guide you through their free the benefits. I mean everything,
Okay.
everything, because of I guess the one that started it, share her husband passed, and there was no group. She ended up going with the police department, but they didn't understand because it's a different. They're still civilians, but you
Right.
know.
They don't need.
So she made this group, and it's humongous now.
Mm.
It's humongous.
I've
We even
never,
do the
you know,
huh?
I've never heard of Tabs, but it's my first time hearing about it. This is not a sponsor episode, but shout you guys out. I'm gonna find the links. We'll put it below. But shout out to Tabs, supporting veterans and family communities. Thank you so much. You were saying.
No, I mean they're amazing. They even the our sons got to go to the football here in Atlanta. The game
Hmm.
they did two in 2020, and I mean they were treated like they were VIP. They were sitting in the boxes up top. They were eating lobster. They met the owner of the team. They trained with the team. We got a jersey that has my husband's name on it.
Hmm.
You know, and then
Yeah.
also, oh no, we got a lot of jerseys, and then we also got a jersey from the soccer team here in Atlanta,
Okay.
and it has his name and his like a number on the back. Like they supported like a lot. Like they give you, and this is all free for us. Like
Hmm.
they pay for all this, so it's like wow, you register and you go and you train with like athletes and you go to retreats. I mean, it's something that it's rewarding, and it helps, so especially when you're a child,
Hmm.
because
Get that.
kids they need like they need stuff like that they feel good, like encouraging them that their father didn't die
He ain't die for nothing. Your
for
dad.
nothing.
I definitely want to know that. Let them know that your dad touched a lot of people's lives. A lot of people's lives.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
so say in regards to that, my next question is, how do you want people to remember Michael Barcena?
remember him how he was, that spunky, helpful, cussing at times when he would get mad. I and all the help he always helped everybody. You know, he would help you no matter what. He had a big heart,
That's all.
and that's he had a very big heart. And it's sad to say that that's what failed him, his heart. But he had a big heart. He loved everybody, and he would take care of anybody. He would give you the shirt off his back if he had to. You know, he would guide you. He would, if he saw potential in you, oh, he would take you to the top.
That's very true. That's very true. Well,
Right?
I have some calls for you, and I wanted
Oh,
you to check them out. Hit that subscribe button if you can roll with your battle buddies on the Combat Crawl Show. No filters, no fluff, just best stuff. And if you don't, I'm gonna tell everybody you the real Blue Falcon. Hell yeah, man. Welcome to the show, brother. What's going on, man? Long time, my boy.
Man, it's been a minute. It's definitely been
Yeah,
a minute.
definitely, man. Definitely. But I gotta today's a special episode, man. I'm doing a tribute episode to Michael Barcena, first time Barcena. Somebody was to say first time Barcena or Michael Barcena, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Man, definitely a great leader. Like, guaranteed. And, a fair person. I think that was what I liked about him most. Like he was, all the way around the board, he was fair.
So when did you and Michael Barcena, first time Barcena, serve together?
Uh, Started in like 2006 at Fort Stewart, Georgia. And I was there for about 3 years.
He wasn't first time yet when back then though, no '06 though, right?
No, no, no.
All right. Next question is, what kind of leader was Michael Barcena?
He definitely was a great leader to me. He was fair, very knowledgeable about his job. So, like I had the utmost respect for him.
All right. Now let me ask you another question. How has Michael Barcena or him as a first sergeant impacted your life as a person or as a soldier?
Man, to be honest, like, you know, most people that know me from back then, they know that, I had my times. I had my times. And like, he was one of the people that, he knew about, the little things that I got into, little things I had going on. And he didn't really hold it against me. Like, okay, he used to always tell me this, like, what you done is in the past. He like, what you gonna do, that's what's more important. And once we got back from touring Iraq, like I kind of got into a bunch to where, he I know he could have, but in a lot of people's eyes, he should have had me discharged from the army. But the thing that he told me was, hey, I'm not gonna do that. Like, you getting ready to go to a new duty station. He like, I'm gonna let you go ahead and do that. And he like, just look at this as a restart. He like, this, you, whatever you want to do with your life from this point on, you know, you can do that. Like, once you get out here to this duty station, all of the bull crap that you had going on, it's back in the past. And like, man, that really, that helped me out. Cause like, at the time I really didn't understand because I was so young. But like all the time I think about it, just like, man, basically my life was in his hands, and he helped me out. Like, for real.
So what's your
Yeah.
best memory? What's your best memory of first sergeant though? Yeah.
Ain't gonna lie, like that, I think that would be it. That was like, man, when I say I was so scared because I'm like, man, I done did all this to trying to change my life and like, man, I'm gonna be gone. I'm gonna get kicked out. And like, man, just seeing him around all the time, he was a funny dude. So,
Yeah.
like, he always had some kind of little joke or something to say when he seen me.
Yeah.
So it's like, man,
Hell yeah. All
yeah,
right. All right. So, as you know, we lost Barcena a couple years back. What is one thing you would say to the family? What we want the family to know about him? There we go. Yeah.
man. I just like to say that, man. I'm really jealous that y'all get to call him your real family. It's
Hell yeah.
military with family, but that's your blood family because he was just a great dude. Like
Hell yeah.
growing up with an absentee father, it was like, man, if I could choose a father, like he would definitely be like up in the top choices for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. I say that. I kind of say that because like once, like I mean, I went to. I think I was like I was turning 20, turning 21, whatever, and like I mean, I had a dad. My dad was around. I'm not. I already did my episode of my
Yeah,
pops for the record, but
yeah,
I say that to say like leaving them to come like under his command, like, and I was worked up under him for I mean a long time, 3 deployments pretty much, and like I learned a lot. I wouldn't be the man I am today without you know what I'm saying, like his leadership. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Well, man, I appreciate you joining the show. I can't wait to do our episode, brother. You know what I'm saying? And thank
yeah.
you again, my friend.
Yeah, no problem, no
Hell
problem.
yeah. All right. Well, I have another call for you, Miss Maggie, and Miss Maggie Barcena, and it is Rasheem, Specialist Rasheem Ruffin. How you doing today, Ruffin? What's going on, bro?
Hey, what's going on? How you doing, man?
So,
What's up?
I want to pretty much just, you know what I'm saying, just ask you off the top of your head, though. When I say the name Michael Barcena, what's the first thing or story comes to mind?
Well, the first time I met him, met First Sergeant Barcena, you know what I'm saying? When they pulled up on me, I guess they had heard that I was boxing in Aberdeen Proving Grounds. So when he pulled up on me, he was just like this little stout, short guy, he about my size, When he pulled up on me, he command his, his presence. So when he pulled up on me, he just pulled up like heard you could fight, and it was like, oh, here to go on the games, This is the first sergeant, so I'm standing there parade rest. He my size, just like, yeah, I could fight first sergeant who. He was like, okay, yeah, but don't you do none of that fighting down here, who? I was like, who, everything good, first sergeant. I just want to make a good impression on him, but at the same time, it was warm energy because he smiled. It was everything you wanted in the first sergeant. You feel me?
Yeah,
And I was proud of that moment to be a part of his company.
hell yeah,
The
that's
greeting
what's
was
up.
great. That's how I took it. What I'm saying? It was like he knew his soldier beforehand, but at the same time, he commanded his position.
Yeah. Let me ask you another question. When did you guys serve together? Like, where you guys stationed at? Where was that all at?
Fort Stewart,
And did you guys
Fort
deploy
Stewart, Hunter.
together?
Say again?
Did you guys deploy together?
Yes, yes, yes. So it was crazy. That was my first deployment. Um, I was having a baby. This is another memorable moment I have for Sergeant Barcena. I was having a baby right before deployment. The unit deployed in November, but first sergeant, I'm pretty sure that came from, the bottom of his heart, knowing that this is my first child, this is my first deployment. I'm a new soldier. Ain't no telling what's gonna go on in the deployment. He allowed for me to stay. He worked it out that I got to stay behind until my daughter was born, and I deployed in December. And so when I got to Iraq. My first day in Iraq, um, I saw First Sergeant Barcena, and he was like, "Hey man, you ready to go on a mission tonight?" And I was like, "Who will First Sergeant send me?" And he was like, "All right, man, you can go on the gun truck team." And man, that was just like that right there. It was just like always that one on one with him. It was always I was ready. He pumped me up right then and there, just knowing that he was gonna send me. He pumped me up, and I was always ready to go for him, man.
Yeah,
That was one heck of a leader. Just knowing that I was around him at times, just man, that was a heck of a leader, man. I'm at a loss for words sometimes just thinking about it.
That was my next question. What kind of leader was he though? So,
Man, wonderful, man. Okay, I could tell you like this. I was first sergeant for a day. Man, wonderful, man. Okay, I could tell you like this. I was first sergeant for a day, right?
all right,
And I got to ride with him from top of the morning till close of business, and from immediately when we got into the sergeant major's office, and the way he was just breaking down how Echo Company was just on top of everything. Everybody needed to really be like Echo Company, everything like Echo Company. And I just saw all the other first sergeant faces every time he would, mention how Echo Company was on top of everything. They was doing such and such right. They, things were just running smoothly in Echo Company. And it was just like at the end of the meeting, it was like, you see that soldier, you see why I put so much emphasis and effort into soldiers being on time, soldiers doing the right thing, just all those meetings and all those talks on man, it was just like you see, man, that's leadership, man. I got to see the leadership firsthand from other leadership, and they praise his leadership. And that's when I knew, I was in the best company.
that's real, man. That's
By
real.
the best first sergeant. How
Let me
about
ask
that?
you another question then. So, how did Barcena impact your life as a soldier or as a person?
I'm short. I'm 5'6". First sergeant Barcena is about 5'6". Man, that man showed me you could do anything, man.
It's real life
He
though,
ran
man.
he ran hundreds of soldiers. And he did it excellent. We supported a lot of other soldiers. And with that being said, man, a men of men, man. First Sergeant Barcena was a man of all men. And, being able to look up to that, man, and strive to just have that type of strength, to always keep pushing on no matter what, it come at you. You always got to keep pushing. First Sergeant Barcena was that type of guy, man. He just showed that type of strength. At 5'6", man, that's a big man complex, and he was a strong man. He was a big dude. Holmes was benching too. You feel me? So what I'm saying, just to speak on his name, like man, that's a real strong guy, man. He taught me, man, be a strong guy, man, be a man. He spoke, and when he spoke, people listened.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So next question is, what's your best memory with First Sergeant Barcena?
Being first sergeant for a day, man, just being around him, man, just seeing
Yeah,
the swag of how he rolled and how everybody just treated him. You know what I'm saying? Just like you know, if I could have stayed in the army longer, I would
uh,
wanted to be just like First Sergeant Barcena. I mean, how he treated his men, how he treated, how he talked to us. When he pulled us to the side, it was always a man talk, and those are my fondest moments, just being able to talk to First Sergeant Barcena, even when I was in some type of trouble. He scolded me without having to disrespect me. Those were my memorable moments.
what would you say to the family about Mark Barcena?
You had a wonderful husband. The children had a wonderful father. My family benefited off of his leadership. I came home and
That's
I
real life, bro.
appreciate him. I appreciate him. Who?
Well, that's real shit, man. Hey, brother, I appreciate that. And that's all we need to do. I got Sergeant First Class Adrian Jones with me today. How you doing, bro?
All right, bro. How about yourself?
I'm all right, my man. I just gotta ask you a couple questions, man. If I said the name Michael Barcena, what's the first thing come to mind?
Uh, well, the way first off, I always looked out for his soldiers from the jump when I got there. He always looked out for me.
Right. All right. Next question I'm gonna ask you is, when did you guys serve together?
We served together from 2008 to 2012.
All right. Let me ask you another question. What would you say? What kind of leader he was?
He was a first sergeant for soldiers. He cared about the soldiers that was under him. He looked out where he could, um, and pretty much, man, he just made sure soldiers first. He understood the trials and tribulations we had as soldiers. especially getting deployed and many uh, things that happen within the command. He was always help out and give you guys shit.
How did first Sergeant Michael Barcena impact your life, or at least your career?
Well, for first day, like I got there as a specialist, and I was gonna get out the army.
Hmm.
Now he was like, "No, I need you to stay in so you can become an NCO because I think you'll be a good NCO." Back in 2008, I wrecked my motorcycle, and I was like, "All right, bet, no problem. I'm gonna get out, whatever." So I was pushing through, and he pretty much was like, one day came to me and a couple of other cooks that was in the company. He was like, "Hey Jones, you need to go take a PT test because our Major Thumbheart wanna send you to the board, and I gotta have an answer for him." I told him I was on a profile. He said, "I don't care about the profile. Go take a PT test and we'll figure it out the rest from there, right?"
Hmm.
So I did the PT test. I passed the PT test. Did I do great on it? No, but I passed it. So at 9:30 formation, he called me and Sergeant Bonus to the office, and he was like, "Hey, you passed your PT test." I said, "Yes." He said, "Where's your profile at?" I pulled it from out of my breast pocket, gave it, pulled out my breast pocket, like for real, like, and gave it to him. He like, "You don't need this if you can pass the PT test." He said, "As soon as you get to Iraq and we get situated, I'm sending you to the board." That was it.
Yeah. And then you took off, man. You were, you know what I'm saying? Now you
Yeah.
excel, you know what I'm saying?
So, but yeah, that's it, man. And, hey, if it wasn't for him, I would have been out the army by now. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
I,
So
I hear a lot of people say that though, for real. A lot of people say that though. What is your best memory of Michael Barcena? And y'all best memory together. Like, you know what I'm saying?
my best memory is when I got promoted E5 to sergeant and stuff when I was in Iraq.
Right.
I came back. We had reset, refit because I just came out from the outpost, checkpoint one. I made the list, and he was like, "Hey, you made the list." And then after I made the list, remember little Martinez, Specialist Martinez? She was the mechanic. She had her stuff on the wrong side. Her uniform was all jacked up, and I fixed it right there. And he was like, "You're gonna be all right, but you still going out to the outpost tomorrow." So I like, so that was it.
Yeah. All right. Now, if you could say anything to Barcena or his kids or his wife, man, what would you say?
What I would say to him is, "Hey, you had a good husband and a good father. He was always there, and he always looked out for everybody. Sorry that he gone, but hey, we all miss him. You know. So that's it."
Hey man, I appreciate that, man. I'm gonna tell her, man. This episode is sponsored by Properties Home Inspection, your friendly neighborhood home inspectors right there in Georgia. Whether you're buying your first place or want to know what's going on behind the walls, they got your back. They geek out, so you don't have to stress out. Hit them up at properties.com for all your home inspection needs today. Down. I have P- U.S. Army, former U.S. Army PFC Shane Sampson. What's up, my man? How you doing? Welcome to the show.
What's good, my boy?
Ain't
About a matter
much,
of time
man.
I jump on this show anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's about
If I said the name First Sergeant Michael Barcena, what's the first story to come? What's the first thing to come to mind?
top. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That Miami Cuban boy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Top. You know what I'm saying? You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Cuban sandwiches, you know what I'm saying? I if I'm not wrong, I feel like Top been Mr. 305 before Mr. 305, you know what I'm saying? Like the bald head and everything. Like
Yeah.
he's always had that, you know what I'm saying? But I say great leader. I say a man that know how to balance life where it's cool and strict and disciplined at the same time where he just knew how to talk to his soldiers, man. He just knew how to like be eye level with anyone. You know what I'm saying? Like he was just really good at talking. He was good at managing people. And that was one of his gifts, you feel me? Because he dealt with a bunch of hothead personalities in our unit. And the way he managed all of us, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I say a great man, great manager, you know,
All right,
yeah.
all right. When did y'all serve together? Like, when were y'all stationed together, or where were y'all stationed at?
Um, I got in the military in 2008 in Fort Stewart. And that's where I met Top. Top was like coming back from deployment. So from 2008 to 2011 was my whole term of my contract, and I was around Top for my whole term. And I'm happy I never had a change of command. I'm happy it was just him and the only one I dealt with. You know what I'm saying? But I dealt with Top for those 4 years, and best time I had in the military, best experience I ever had in my life.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask you another question. How has Michael Barcena, or First Sergeant Barcena, impacted you as a soldier or as a person?
All right, first I'll start with as a soldier. As a soldier, I was a scammer as a soldier. I mean, your boy was a big schemer. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't like to go to work. I didn't like to go to PT. I didn't like to do nothing, man. And I'm gonna tell you this one story, like how really Top got to me mentally one time. One time I was shamming, and I was doing my thing. I used to go to dental a lot, and I used to sham a lot. And I remember
Right.
one time Top pulled me in the office. He was like, I see you always sharing. You always, he said, you know what, you smart. You know what to do. You know how to stay out of trouble. Like you sham, you do your thing, but stay out of trouble. I can't say nothing but dental.
Right.
Anybody who be in dental that long, you can't say nothing to him. But he said, let me tell you something, man. He said, man, you the biggest loser I know, man. I said, what? What do you mean I'm a loser? He was like, man, you the biggest loser I know, man. He's like, you got all these other soldiers following you without any type of rank. You guys are great friends, and they follow you without no stripes. But you have NCOs who 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 climb the top for that respect, and you got it just from being good buddies and just being a natural leader. And you just a waste of talent, man. I was like, whoa, me? I was like, oh man, Top, that's kind of harsh. He was like, I'm gonna keep it real with you. We both from Miami. He said, like, you supposed to change this, man. You supposed to come in here and make the rules the way you want to. He was like, that's what I did. You need to do the same. And it was that time I noticed. I was like, yo, you know what? He's right. I'm playing around with my own leadership. I'm playing around with myself. Like, I need to grow up. And from then, I grew up. I knew that I had to take this a bit more seriously in life because it's all connected. It was all part of life. I was young at the time, but those choices was gonna impact and shape my life forever. So I had to
Real life.
I had to shape up, you know.
All right. So let me ask you another question. What is your best memory of First Sergeant?
That's a hard one, man. That's a hard one, man. I'll say the best one was in Iraq, right? We had our little clique, the AR-15 boys. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And it's one of my best memories because it still falls behind the question you just asked with the things that shaped me as a man.
Mm-hmm.
I remember we had got in trouble, right? Specifically, I remember you got us in trouble. You know what I'm saying? I remember, yeah,
What
yeah,
is you
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about?
Listen. I remember Carl Powell Jr. getting us in trouble. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Talking to
Right.
little Roxy to a non-commissioned officer and really getting us, you know what I'm saying, hemmed up. Had us in the office, had 7 grown ass men in the office. And then at the time,
Because of
I
me?
think yeah. And I think at the time, out of 7 of us, I think 5 of us was having kids. And I think 5 of us was literally having daughters. I remember Top ripped us a new asshole, man. He told us, man, listen, man, y'all about to be fathers. Y'all gonna be ain't shit ass people if you get out the military on a dishonorable. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, whoa. And I'm like, he's right. I'm like, if we get kicked out while serving, there's no coming back from that. So it was like, yo, it's time to shape up. But I mean,
One thing you will want to say to Maggie Barcena or the family of the Barcena family.
oh man, I'll like to thank them and thank him because he is a person, and for him serving the country and basically putting America first, putting the country first, and really sacrificing. Because we all know when you join the military, I'm sorry to say it in this way, but family normally comes secondary to the country. You know, you serve, you put the highest honor of the country and protection overall, and he did that. And I want to thank him for that. I want to thank him for showing me how to do that properly, and to make sure I'm a better man today and a better patriot today. You know what I'm saying? Like he taught me how to be a natural born leader, like how to really be a leader with aspiration, goals, and how to talk to people and manage people. So I like to thank his whole family, and I like to thank him personally, because without his discipline, without his direction, I with my multiple Article 15s that I've had, if anyone knows me, with all the Article 15 he have tossed under the table and threw under the desk, and had board meetings and meetings about PFC Samson. Listen, with his grace, I'm here today. That's for real. With his grace. That's no bullshit. I gotta thank him for his grace.
Hell of a man. Hell of a man. Well,
Yeah,
appreciate it, my man. I thank you so much.
yeah.
What you doing? I gotta tell the people I got a special guest, a special call in. Sergeant First Class Robert Perigo. What's going on, my man?
Oh, it's going good.
Well, when we did meet back in the oh 07, oh 09, 2010 tour, we were under First Sergeant Barcena. And I'm asking you, I got some questions to ask you about him. Today's episode is dedicated to Barcena, you know. So my first question is, if someone was to ask you, or if someone was to say Michael Barcena, what was the first story or first thing that comes to mind?
Oh man, great guy. First time I met him was when with the first company I was, and I just a scared little private. I was like, called in his office. I thought I was in trouble. I was like, he was just like very, very, what do you call it, firm and authoritative when I first met him. And I remember he didn't take any crap from anybody. He was very, but he cared. He cared a lot though. He cared about you. He asked you every day, how are you doing? When you see him in the hallway, always want to strike a conversation with you, make sure you're doing okay. And he cared more about the soldiers than himself. So,
True. So, my next question would be is how has Michael Barcena impacted your life as a soldier or as a man?
I still think of him to this day. I still like when I'm with the family, always make sure they're okay, not being too hard on them. Just trying to live my life like he did. Trying to get the same success that he had, and caring about my family, just like I care about my care of soldiers. And every day is trying to like what do you call it? Be like my role model to the soldiers. Care about them, care about the other.
That's real, bro. My next question: what is your best memory with First Sergeant Barcena?
Oh, so we were just get to Iraq, and I just got in, and I was in the bathroom, and he was there, and I walked in, and he's like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And we just had a conversation in the bathroom, and he's just said, "Hey, if you're gonna go do these great things here, this deployment," he was like, "Are you scared? You nervous?" And just it wasn't First Sergeant Barcena then. He was just Michael Barcena to then at that moment, just making sure I was okay. And I was like, "I'm good. I'm good, First Sergeant." A little taking time to adjust to this new life out here on this deployment. And then after that, just the casual conversations we had. Never had to go to him for any big issues like DUIs or anything like that. So that's good. So I never got to see that side of him.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. My last question for you is: we all know Michael Barcena is gone, and we want to say, my question to you is, what would you say to Michael Barcena's family about him, or yeah, or anything you want to say to him?
I just want to say, tell him uh, he was such a great role model, and just miss him. Wish he was still here so I can give him a call or see how he's doing. Just hope his family is doing good. And know it's been a while. Been a while. Hopefully they're doing good, remembering him and everything. And yeah, just miss him. Just wish he was still here. He no doubt he would probably be like Sergeant Major of the Army by now. Still be in the Army if you try to find a way to stay in.
Yeah, that's real life, man.
Now, can I give you some questions?
Oh, of course, I would love some questions. I would love some questions.
If I said my husband's name,
Mhm.
um, what story would come to mind to you?
Um, the story that comes to mind to me, would be the first time I lost my weapon. The first time not the first time, the only time I lost my weapon. I lost my weapon one time. I don't know what happened the night before, but so I misplaced my weapon. I left it at the barber shop. It was just all this commotion going on, and then first sergeant gets it the night before. So I think my friends took it, and I'm like, okay, where's it at? And they don't have it, so I had to go to the mayor's cell. Sergeant Major McDuffie sees it, and he calls Sergeant Major already, Sergeant Major Martin at the time, and they're all in they're in a Trailblazer, and like he takes off from the mirror cell first, so I'm trying to haul ass all the way down like a mile to beat the Trailblazer before first Sergeant Barcena find out. Because I mean, you rather this thing was you gonna tell me before somebody else tell me. I find out from them, I'm bringing the hammer. All right, so I'm running down there. I'm too late, and he's standing there. He's standing in the door, like in the walkway, with his hands on his hips, and was like, "Mira, mira." I told me turn around, and then like he smoked me bad. He smoked me bad. Got me building sandbag walls, and all type of stuff. I didn't get written up, but he dog walked me all day. He talked bad about me. That is the first thing I come to mind when I think about Barcena.
And when did you all serve together?
We served together. So he was my first sergeant of in 2007. I joined, and that was my first sergeant from all the way 2011. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow!
Mm-hmm.
What kind of leader was he?
First sergeant Barcini was at the time he was a no excuse kind of leader, a soldier like a soldier's first kind of leader. He'll show you how he does it. He does it first, like leader. Like if he was one of the greatest leaders I've ever been around, and like a man of men. Like he was the greatest one. Like he was a shit talking me. Like he was the man. Like he was the man. He just walked around his chest up, and everybody knew him and respected him. And yeah, that's kind of leader he was to me.
And how did he impact your life?
Well, he impacted my life. He saw the bigger picture he saw the bigger picture for my life in a lot of aspects. Like he saw the potential in me and things
He
that
did.
like I was like very like when I first got to him, I was like I was trying to go to the worst wrestle for the military. I was trying to wrestle for the military, and I had like the paperwork and the profile. I had the whole packet I brought to his desk, and they had this thing called stop loss. So I was locked in, and he was like, "You're not going anywhere." And I took the game back the packet right back. You're not going anywhere. You're not wrestling for the military. You're not going anywhere. You are the one in the slot now. So, and me not, I was very disappointed at the time. I'm not gonna lie. Like, he not gonna let me wrestle. He not gonna let me go try out. Not even practice. Not even like try. like, but he had me a different path in the sense like he sent me through the combatives levels. So he got me all the way up to the highest combatives levels. And when he saw potential in me, like in the sense of him rewarding me or petitioning me for to get a battle for promotion. And that is the one thing that I'm never gonna forget that I appreciate him. That's how it really impacted my life the most is by him rewarding me or seeing the potential in me to get battle promoted. And with that award, I became the first quartermaster, the first African American quartermaster, the
Yeah,
first like when
yeah.
since World War One, two, I mean since World War Two to
Yeah.
receive the battle for promotion. And he fought hard for me. I was on R&R, and soldiers were calling me saying first sergeant is like in the meetings yelling, telling other people like my guy's gonna get the award over other people and whatnot, and just him fighting for me without me knowing and seeing the potential in me and giving me that award. That's bigger than any opportunity I could have had trying to wrestle with something.
Yeah. What is one of the best memories you have of him?
Let's see. When he picked me for my five, when he punched me in my chest and gave my like when he gave my five, like he was the one to put stripes on me.
Yeah.
And when he punched me in my chest, that was like it was yeah, I mean yeah, it was like it
Yeah.
was a good solid shot to the chest. But it was more so like it was a respect thing. It was a great moment because he seen me like from a private to reward me to get 5. It was a beautiful moment for me. And like in the battalion, we had a lot of people come out to that award ceremony, and I appreciated him for that. So that's my most memorable thing about him.
I'm I'm sure he was proud to punch you in the chest like that, because he knew you had it in you.
First thing, one of the questions I asked all the guys was, "What's one thing they would say to you guys, to the family?" And since I have you here, I want to say to you, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you guys. I loved your husband as the leader, as my first sergeant, and I appreciate you guys. And I will make sure every show we say his name, you see a little bit of him everywhere in here. And I would be the man I am today without him. And I just appreciate you guys and sacrifice to let us have him for as long as we had him.
And thank you, and I appreciate that he loved his job and that you guys made it easy for him. I mean, I didn't like sharing that much, but I'm happy that at least his memory is still, alive.
And
Because I don't want nobody to ever forget him because he was amazing.
he touched thousands of soldiers, and this thousands of soldiers still left that's in the military that's moved on in their career that's has rank now, and that's because of him. And soldiers that's still in the military because of him. So
Yeah, I just wish he was still here to in person to hear all this,
yeah,
because he would always ask me, he's like, "Do you think I'd make a difference?" And I'm like, "You've made a difference." Because he always questioned himself, like, "Did I make a difference?" And I'm
and
like,
that's
"You yes."
and that's crazy to us because we never saw that. We never saw the doubt. You know what I'm saying? Or like a bit of doubt in him as a leader, or like we never saw any of it.
Yeah, he would always ask. He's like, "Do you think I'm making a difference?" I'm like, "Buddy, you're making a difference. I'm sure you're making a difference." Because if they're still called, because some soldiers will still call him after, when he was a CSM, like asking questions, or I was like, "You made a difference." Because if somebody's still reaching out to you after all this time, you made a difference. Because if you didn't, they wouldn't be like, "I'm not gonna tell that."
That's right.
Yeah. So but he always did wonder if he made a difference, like and I wish he was alive so he could know for real, like hear from you guys instead of but from me telling him you did make a difference.
Yeah, me too. Now that's gonna conclude our show. That's a wrap on today's episode. Thank you for tuning in to Combat Carl Show. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share with someone who needs to hear this. For more updates and content, you can follow us on all social media platforms at the Combat Carl Show. Until next time, watch your six, keep grinding, and never let the world forget who the hell you are. Combat Carl out.